Yo, it's the Co.
And yo, it's the Cone. And today we have a little football clubs tier list. We got about maybe 30 clubs to go through. Gonna give them a rating. Here are the tiers. There's S, A, B, C, D, E, F. So a lot of variety. We're gonna get straight into it with AC Milan.
I feel like they're an A team with the history, also with their history, like the recent history they've also been having. I feel like they're not an S tier yet, but they are definitely an A tier.
Yeah, a lot of history. Probably the biggest club in Italy. It's close with them and Juventus,
Historically,
but
yes.
historically, yes. But it seems like they're finally getting back to what they were. So yeah, I'm happy with putting it in the A tier.
The second team is that Fiorentina.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for. I feel like they're an average team. I think a C would fit. They made it to a Conference League final with a really good squad. They kind of don't have a lot of history, don't have recent history either, but they did make it to a major title, so I do see them as a C category.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them a big club, but definitely are capable. So yeah, I'm okay with putting them pretty average, just putting them in a C tier. Next up is Ajax. I think I want to put it in the same tier as AC Milan.
Yes.
It's A.
Because they have a lot of history. Just the recent history has been very downfall. They had a struggling year this year, so I think an A would be best for them.
Yeah, they're probably the biggest club outside of the top 5 leagues.
Are they a top 5 league now?
Kinda, but like not officially.
Okay.
Yeah, I think A for.
Would you say they're higher or lower than AC Milan?
I think they're lower.
Lower?
A little bit lower. Yeah, but still A.
Arsenal is next.
B.
Yeah, I have
no Champions Leagues, no official Europa Leagues. Disappointing up until this past season, where they still, they bottled the league. A lot of talk from Arsenal fans, but not a lot of history to back it up. Yeah, but of course they're still a big name.
Yep.
Won the Premier League. They had the invincible season. The only club still in England in the Premier League to have an invincible season. So, yeah, I think B is
a proper fit for them.
Fair for Arsenal.
They're one of the highest B teams there.
Yeah, definitely.
Monaco. I'm gonna give them D. Because they've had that one single season where they won the Ligue 1. And then after that, they sold all their players. So,
yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with D.
They're not the worst team out there, but they're not the best team out there.
They did have Mbappe.
They did have Mbappe. They did produce Mbappe.
Which is good, but I think that's probably the reason that they're not an E. Not a great history, but worthy of being one of the teams on this list.
Roma
Football Club. I want to give them B, but like a low B, because in terms of Italian clubs, they are not as historically great as AC Milan, but they are a step up from Fiorentina.
Mm-hmm. They're definitely a low-rated B.
Below Arsenal, but still in B.
For one of the top managers to not go to Saudi Arabia for the money and stay with Roma, they're definitely a B.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, Atletico Madrid, our first Spanish team.
I think they're lower than Roma. I think they're another B team. They've made some runs to the Champions League final. They've made some runs in the Europa League. They've won La Liga a couple times.
Yeah, they've always been there.
They've always been there.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. They've won La Liga. Even in recent history, they've won La Liga, made finals. Yeah, good club. Definitely B tier.
Next, we have Bayern Leverkusen. I think they're the same as Monaco.
Really?
Because they've never. It's been a long time since they won something in Germany. They're a team that sneaks into Europa League or Champions League, but I don't think they have a lot of history with them.
I kind of wanted to put them in C.
See?
Only because they made the Europa League semifinal this year. They've had some, maybe not great years, but they've had good years.
And they've produced a lot of talent.
I think they're close to Fiorentina, but they're a bit below Fiorentina just because they're standing and making the final more recently. Let's see.
The cursed club in Portugal, Benfica. I'm going to say A. They're a very low A. They have a lot of history. They've been to a lot of... They have a lot of history. They've been to a lot of European finals. They've lost all of them since their manager in the 40s, I'm pretty sure, got fired. So that's why I give them an A, because they have won the Champions League. They have been to a lot of European finals, and they've lost a lot of them.
A historic club. Great at development. Great in the Portuguese league. Definitely a big club. They're with Ajax in the outside of the top 5 leagues, but being a team that people know. Very big club.
Next to a Turkish team, Besiktas. It has to be F.
Yeah. They don't compete.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a shout out to all of those memes back in the day, a couple years ago, when it was like every single player that was rumored to be leaving their club, it was like, come to Besiktas. Everyone's going to Besiktas, and they got like one player. So it's like they're just like a meme team. They're just like a joke team, and if you're a banter club, you're an F tier.
Next we have Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund. They're a B. Like, with those teams in the B category, it's just like those teams are like top tier bottlers in their leagues.
Yeah.
And Dortmund also fall into that category.
I guess it's like second tier in their country.
Yes.
Like the second tier club in terms of name and success and everything.
And all those clubs in the B category produce very good players. They just fall short every year.
Would you put them above or below Arsenal?
I'll put them behind Arsenal. They bottled it even worse than Arsenal did.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Borussia Dortmund, just behind Arsenal and B. Next is Celtic. They have the most trophies in European football history.
They have to be S.
Yeah, I think the history of them.
The history just... with the history, it has to be S.
Yeah. Even if now they don't really have the high standing that they once had, you got to take history into account with them, and they're one of the biggest clubs of all time, and definitely deserve to be an S tier.
Next we have is Chelsea. That's like a borderline AS. SA. Like, it's borderline. Because they've won Champions Leagues. They've won Premier Leagues. They've been one of the top teams in all of Europe for a very long time.
They're a banter club. Young Kibba said that they're, he calls them a banter club now. He's the Chelsea guy. He does this little dance. I mean, they definitely have to be
They're definitely higher than
high
Ajax.
at least.
Are they the highest A tier there? I would say yes. But are they the lowest S tier? I would say yes. It's just wherever we put them is not going to be right.
I think for now we should put him above AC Milan and A, and we'll see
where it goes
from there. We'll see how the rest of how it shapes up. Next up is Everton. They are a historic club. They do have some history, but the last 10, 15, 20 years...
When was the last time they won a
Premier League? They're just like a mid-table team. They're low now. They're relegation battling every single year.
When was the last time they won a Premier League?
Oh God, years.
Then I'll put them in C. They're with Fiorentina and they're with Bayern Leverkusen.
I would almost put them lower. They're
really?
with Monaco. It's close. I'm okay with putting them low C, below Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Just because they do have some history.
Leverkusen were in the recent history they were almost there winning a title, but Everton have not been. They luckily didn't get relegated this year. They're one of the top tiers or one of the longest teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, but just not cutting it anymore. Not a good team. Next up is FC Barcelona. I don't think there needs to be much discussion on this one.
S?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. However, do you put them above Celtic?
No. Not with the history.
They haven't had the European success in especially recent years. But yeah, they've had their lull periods, whereas Celtic has...
I would say you could put them up top because they did win 6 titles in a calendar in the whole year.
Yeah.
But Celtic have a lot of history.
Yeah. I'm okay with putting them in S behind Celtic. Next up, Bayern Munich.
I think they're an S tier.
Yeah, I think they're S as well. And I know the whole Farmers League thing with
But they've been
Germany,
dominating the Farmers League for...
They're the reason it's a Farmers League because they're that good.
But they're lower than... They're the lowest S tier out there.
Yeah. Yeah, they also have the success in Europe to back it up. They have Champions Leagues, all that jazz to help them. And yeah, I think definitely an S tier club.
FC Porto.
FC Porto, what do you think?
I think they're B. They're also one of the bottom teams out there.
I think, that's, again, the second tier, a bit lower than Benfica. I would put them at the bottom of B.
I don't know, but they did win a Champions League in the past 20 years.
So maybe in between Roma and Atletico? I don't think we can put them... Well, maybe above Roma, but they can't go above Dortmund.
Yeah, I think... Because it was not so long ago, but it was 2 decades ago, I think we do put them at the lower side of B.
Okay.
Because... And I think we do move Atletico up more. Past Roma.
Okay, so do that.
And then put them in between.
And then put Porto in between them. Okay, I'm alright with that. Yeah, that looks good to me.
Schalke.
Schalke 04.
I think they're an E.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that E spot looks really good for them.
Yeah.
The first, team that's not like a meme club like Besiktas, but don't really have the standing, the history, all of that to put them above a club like Monaco.
A lot of great players came out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they've had good players in the past. Not a terrible squad overall, but Yeah, I think E is roughly their place.
Real Madrid. I think they're S.
I think they're the top.
They're the top team in S.
I think they're the top.
Yep.
It has to be the top. It really, yeah, they don't have the most European titles, but I don't think that they're a bigger club than Celtic.
Yep.
Definitely. 100% bigger. Next up is Feyenoord.
I see them in the B category.
Yeah, I was going to say low B, high C.
Yes.
I
think they're the lowest team in B.
Yeah, they're not at the same level as Ajax, clearly, from a history standpoint. Yeah, of course, recently they've been doing pretty well, but when you look at the history as well as the present, you can put them up there, but not fully up there. Next up is Galatasaray.
I think E. They do have a little bit of history. D.
D.
I feel like they're higher than Monaco.
Yeah, I'm okay with it because they definitely do have the history, big team, but not at the level as anyone above them. So yeah, D tier for Galatasaray.
We have the crosstown or the cross stadium rivals to Milan. We have Inter Milan.
Internazionale. I mean, I feel like they're at the same level as AC Milan. I think they're a bit lower.
Yeah, I think one tick lower.
Yeah, so I think putting them next to each other is fitting. Definitely fitting, but not just a bit below where AC Milan is.
They have won a Champions League in the recent years. They made it to a Champions League this year.
Yep. And in the present, I guess they are better than AC Milan. They beat them this year in the matchups that they had. But when you consider the history, I think they're just a tick below.
Juventus.
Yeah, another Italian club. From a history standpoint, they are below both of them.
Yeah.
But I also think that they are an A tier.
I feel like they're lower.
They're either that or they're high B or above Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I think I'm happy with either.
I'm happy with B.
Above
Arsenal.
The top of B.
Because they're historically wise better than Roma, but not Inter AC Milan.
Yeah.
And they're recently they're better than Roma, but worse than both Milan teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that.
We have another Big Six Premier League team, Liverpool.
Starting our final string of English teams. I think Liverpool.
They're in the same tier as.
I think they're right with like Chelsea
and AC Milan.
Yeah, high A, history. Currently a bit. They're fine. Didn't make the Champions League this season, which definitely hurts in the short term, but it doesn't take away from the history that they've had, the Champions Leagues that they've had. But really, they haven't been amazing in recent history. I mean, they only have one Premier League in the last 10 or so years.
But they've been to two Champions League finals.
But they've won one. They've lost a Champions League final. But being the two Champions League finals in a 6, 7, 8 year span is pretty impressive. So yeah, I'm okay with putting them
in between
Chelsea and AC Milan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just below Chelsea because of Chelsea's history.
Yeah. Manchester City. I think they're the low A team.
Low A?
Yeah, low A. They don't have the history of it.
I was gonna put them in B. I don't know if I can put them above Arsenal.
Because of the history?
I know the last 10 years have been good, but before that,
it was really not.
Were they in the top flight when Arsenal had their Invincibles? Maybe not.
They were up and down. They
Yeah.
were a yo-yo team.
Yeah, they were a non-league team 40, 50 years ago.
But they have a Champions League now. That's why I put them.
I don't think I could put them above Benfica or Ajax because of their history.
Yeah. That's why I put them in low A.
I don't know if I can put them above Juventus.
They're a treble-winning team. They've won the Premier League 5 times in the last 6 years. I would put them just below Juventus.
Okay. Just
Above.
below or above? Okay.
Just
So, you know what? We'll put them behind. Yeah, we'll put them at the bottom of A. Next up is Manchester United. I think they're S.
They're in
because of their
between.
history.
They're in between Barcelona and
Bayern?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think it's really close with them and Barca, and I guess as well as them and Bayern. Yeah, they don't. The recent title drought, both with the Premier League and in Europe, definitely hurts them a bit. Yeah, not even making a Champions League final since they won it in 2008 is definitely not a good look. They've won a Europa League since then.
But they are one of the teams to do it.
Yeah, they have a treble. They dominated the 90s, the 2000s. But yeah, I guess since their recent years, they haven't fully been able to contend. That it put them behind Barca for now. Next up is Marseille. Marseille's a bit tricky.
It is.
I don't know in relation to Monaco whether to put them above or below.
I think they're above Monaco.
I was gonna say I think they're a bit above. I wouldn't want to. I kind of want to put them a bit above like Everton. I think they're in between Everton and Bayer Leverkusen. Definitely some history. They're not bad in the present whatsoever, but they're not what they once were. Yeah. Olympique Lyon.
I think they're in the same position as Marseille.
Yeah, a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Of a club, but right around the same. Probably a bit lower than Bayer Leverkusen. Just slap themselves into the sea, and I feel like that's how most of France is with their clubs. It's not a deep history in the French leagues.
As you can see in recent history.
Yeah. Speaking of French teams, Paris Saint-Germain.
They're definitely in the B category. I would say they are in between Arsenal and Dortmund.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's up there. I know they dominate their league, but
even they're in between one of those 3 teams. Arsenal, Dortmund, and
Atletico.
Yes.
I think I'd put them between Dortmund and Atletico, and I know it's literally one spot difference, so it's not the biggest.
Those 4 teams are so equal to themselves.
Yeah.
In recent history, but in history, I think Dortmund and Arsenal take it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. All right. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Next up is PSV. So from PSG to PSV.
I think they're way smaller than Ajax, but they're a little bit bigger than Feyenoord.
Yeah, a bit bigger than Feyenoord, so literally one spot ahead of them, I think is okay. Just right in between them and Roma.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. It's Not a small club by any means, but not a very big club. Next up is Rangers. We had Celtic, one of the most historic teams of all time. Rangers is a bit lower, but still a big club history-wise.
I'll put them in between Benfica and Ajax.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you can put them in S or high A above a Chelsea or a Liverpool. But yeah, I think above Benfica, but below Ajax is a good spot for them.
Yep.
All right. Next up is Sevilla.
See,
The kings of the Europa League.
yeah, so I also see them, that's like a 5-headed team right there, fighting for that top spot behind Juventus.
Yeah. I don't think I can put them above Atletico because of league success. I think that's the only reason that I wouldn't put them above Atletico.
But I would put them above everyone else because of their success in the Europa League.
Yeah, that's true, but it is not the top of Europe. I think putting them above Atletico is okay.
Yeah.
Sporting in Portugal produced.
So I'm just thinking of the comment.
Huh? Oh, Sporting Club de Portugal. Produced Ronaldo. Has had some history, some success. However, they are not at the same level as Benfica. I think they're close to Porto. They're close to Roma. They're close to a PSV and a Feyenoord.
But I don't think they're. I think they're the top team in C.
Top team in C. All right, yeah, that's fine. That's fine by me.
Napoli. I think the history helps them
They
a
have
lot.
history, yeah, and they're starting to get back to those days.
I wouldn't be mad putting them right below City.
Yeah, at the bottom of S or at the bottom of A. They might be above City. They have so much history.
Yeah, but they have had a drought in their league.
It's back though.
Yeah, but that
They're running
33-year drought is not something to talk about.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's a long time to have not won their league or won major trophies. So yeah, I'm okay with putting them in low A.
Spurs.
Tottenham Hotspur. So for Spurs, do we put them above Sporting?
With the Champions League final, yes. And then what we just saw was Marseille won something.
Yeah.
So I think Marseille goes up to that.
So put Spurs above Sporting, but then put
Marseille above them
Spurs.
because they won a Champions League final.
Okay, yeah. I'm okay with that. Well, guys, that is our list. If you agree, let us know. If you disagree, if you think that we are completely wrong on one, let us know. I don't think there are any other changes that we have to make. You got anything?
No, so I think it's pretty even. If you think we got something wrong, make sure to put down what we got wrong with them. So no, we like to hear feedback.
Yeah.
Because we're not that big of experts with clubs. Like
History, especially.
The history, like we don't know anything about the history.
We know Champions League.
Champions Leagues, and that's it. Like,